3 people have been killed in another U.S. strike on an alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific. Chile's president says 2 of the candidates to succeed him, left-wing Janet Jara and right-wing Jose Antonio Cast, will move on to a runoff election next month.
A special tribunal in Bangladesh is set to deliver a verdict against ousted leader Sheikh Hasina. Will be live in the capital, Dhaka.
We are outside that special tribunal where that verdict will be pronounced in a few hours, and there is heavy security in the run-up to that. It's a trial in which the prosecution has demanded the death penalty for the deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. More of that coming up in just a bit.
China warns its citizens against travel to Japan as a diplomatic row between the 2 countries deepens. The UK unveils sweeping reforms to its asylum policy with plans to make refugee status temporary and fast-track the deportations of illegal migrants. Plus, federal agents arrest dozens of people in Charlotte as President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration targets North Carolina's largest city. And coming up on Business Today, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a long-awaited rare earths deal with China could be finalized by the end of the month. A man has been arrested in connection with a deadly car bomb in Delhi last week. India's National Investigation Agency says the car used in the attack was registered to the suspect's name and accused him of conspiring with alleged suicide bomber in what the government has called a terrorist incident. 8 people were killed and at least 20 injured in the blast outside Delhi's historic Red Fort. The New York Jets' NFL player Chris Boyd is in a critical condition after being shot in Midtown Manhattan. At around 2 a.m. local time, police responded to a 911 call about a shooting outside a restaurant called Sales. An investigation is still underway and police do not have a suspect in custody. Chilean President Gabriel Boric says 2 of the candidates vying to succeed him, Communist Janet Jara and right-wing Jose Antonio Cast, will move on to a runoff election after a vote on Sunday failed to return a winning margin. Cast, who's been compared to U.S. President Trump, is aiming to have Chile join neighbors Argentina and Bolivia in voting out their left-wing governments. Crime and public safety was one of the main issues in the election, as Chile has seen an increase in murders, kidnappings and extortion over the past decade.
A U-turn from President Trump as he calls on House Republicans to vote for the full release of the Epstein file, saying, "We have nothing to hide." The former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is sentenced to death after being found guilty of crimes against humanity. She calls the verdict politically motivated.